Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: the Young and the Restless spoilers, launch party drama, fake BFFs, and super couple challenges. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease there might be some drama at the launch party, a fake best friend situation, and a super couple facing challenges. Excitement is coming to Genoa City. So, let's talk about the surprises coming up on the CBS soap. Get updates on the latest news about the Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Nick's bold move to befriend Kane, a recipe for disaster. Regarding Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, he will proceed with a fake friendship with Kane and follow Victor Newman's Eric Braeden instructions. Nick aims to form a partnership and redirect Kane's focus towards a Jabbo takeover rather than one at Chancellor. However, there's no assurance that Nick will manage to persuade Kane that they are suddenly best friends. Nick's change in attitude may raise suspicions and could make Kane cautious. If Kane realizes that Nick is manipulating him, things could go horribly wrong. Kane is no fool. So, it will be intriguing to see if he can outsmart this situation and keep the Newmans alert. We can't rule out Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn trying to ruin the event as he has shown he's untrustworthy. Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, declined to make a deal. And Billy's insider plan is something Kane might easily see through. So, there's a chance Kane could target Abbott Communications. Will Sally and her launch party face the consequences? What is this? Nick's bold move to befriend Kane? A recipe for disaster. Y&R, in the unpredictable world of Genoa City, alliances form and dissolve faster than anyone can anticipate. And this time, it seems Nick Newman may be taking one of the boldest risks of his life. Fans of The Young and the Restless have been buzzing about the latest shocking twist involving Nick's sudden decision to reach out and forge a bond with Kane Ashby. On paper, this might sound like an attempt to build bridges and patch over years of complicated history, but under the surface, it has all the makings of a high-stakes disaster. Nick has always been the moral compass of the Newman family, the steady presence that tries to rise above the chaos his relatives create. But aligning himself with Kane could set in motion a chain of events that destabilizes his personal life, business ventures, and family dynamics in ways he may not be able to control. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. For years, Kane has walked a fine line between redemption and scandal. While he has fought to prove himself a better man, his track record has left many in Genoa City questioning his motives. He has been tangled in corporate manipulation, personal betrayal, and schemes that have left scars across the Winters and Chancellor families. Nick, on the other hand, has spent much of his adult life trying to separate himself from his father, Victor's ruthless tactics while still protecting the family empire. The choice to extend an olive branch to Kane now is raising eyebrows and sparking questions. Is Nick truly trying to see the good in Kane and give him another chance? Or is there a hidden agenda driving this sudden partnership? The biggest danger lies in how this alliance could ripple across Genoa City's already fragile relationships. Sharon and Phyllis, both women with deep connections to Nick, may see this as a reckless gamble that could jeopardize not just Nick's reputation, but the stability of his children's lives. Summer and Noah have seen their father burned before by misplaced trust, and their skepticism will not be easily ignored. Even Faith, though younger, has learned through painful experience how quickly trust can be shattered in the Newman orbit. Nick's children may feel blindsided by his decision to lean on someone like Kane, who has a history of deception. Then there's the Newman family itself. Victoria has little patience for what she perceives as weakness, and she may see Nick's alliance with Kane as just that. With her own ambitions always burning, Victoria could turn this situation to her advantage, undermining her brother in subtle or not so subtle ways. Victor, meanwhile, will likely react with a mix of skepticism and fury. The Newman patriarch values loyalty above all else, and the thought of his son relying on Kane, someone Victor considers unstable and untrustworthy, could provoke a backlash that puts father and son at odds once again. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. What complicates matters further is the potential business fallout. Nick's ventures outside of Newman Enterprises have been both bold and controversial, but aligning himself with Kane could draw negative attention. Kane has ties to both Chancellor Winters and has a reputation for cutting corners to achieve his goals. If Nick brings him into any business dealings, rivals could use this partnership as leverage. painting Nick as naive, or even complicit in whatever schemes Kane finds himself entangled in next. Jill, Lily, and Devon would all have very different reactions to Kane's sudden closeness with Nick. Jill might see an opportunity to exploit. Lily could feel torn between her past with Kane and her current leadership role, while Devon may bristle at the idea of Newman influence creeping into Chancellor Winters through this unexpected alliance. On the emotional side, Nick's motivations deserve scrutiny. Some speculate that his friendship with Kane could stem from his current struggles with loneliness. Nick has been drifting without a solid romantic partner or clear sense of direction. And in Kane, he may see someone equally adrift. The two men might bond over their shared sense of regret and a desire to start fresh, but in doing so, Nick could be opening himself up to manipulation. Kane has proven more than once that when he feels cornered, he makes desperate moves that hurt everyone around him. If Nick lowers his guard, he risks becoming collateral damage in Kane's next spiral. Of course, there's another layer to consider. Kane might not be the same man he once was. Soap operas thrive on redemption arcs, and some fans argue that Kane has been through enough heartache and hardship to warrant a second chance. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Perhaps Nick sees in him the possibility of real growth and transformation. By offering his friendship, Nick could be helping Kane solidify a new chapter in his life, one not defined by lies and betrayal. If this is the case, Nick's move could prove wise, even visionary. But if Kane's darker instincts resurface, then Nick will have handed him not just trust, but access to Newman resources and influence. The looming question is how this alliance will intersect with the larger storylines in Genoa City. Could Kane use his new bond with Nick to gain leverage over Chancellor Winters or even worm his way back into the Newman family orbit? Could Nick's trust in Kane alienate him from Sharon, Phyllis, and others who have stood by him in the past? And most importantly, will Victor see this as betrayal and move to cut his son down before Kane can cause lasting damage? The writers of The Young and the Restless have set the stage for a storyline filled with intrigue, betrayal, and emotional fallout. Nick's decision to befriend Kane is not just about two men trying to find common ground. It's about power, family, loyalty, and the risks we take when we open ourselves up to people with complicated pasts. Whether this turns into an inspiring tale of redemption or a cautionary tale of misplaced trust remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Genoa City is bracing for impact. This bold new direction for Nick signals that big drama is on the horizon, and fans can expect explosive confrontations, shocking betrayals, and heartfelt reckonings as this alliance unfolds. For a character who has always tried to balance heart and duty, Nick may have finally made a move that tips the scales in dangerous ways. Nick's bold move to befriend Kane, a recipe for disaster. Y&R Nick Newman has never been a stranger to taking risks, but even his most ardent supporters are questioning the wisdom of his latest move. To understand why befriending Kane Ashup feels like such a powder keg, it's worth diving deep into their histories, their motivations, and the potential ripple effects this alliance could unleash across Genoa City. Nick's journey, a man caught between heart and duty. Nick has spent decades trying to strike the impossible balance between being Victor Newman's son and his own man. Time and again, he has been pulled back into the Newman empire, often reluctantly. And just as often, his conscience has clashed with his father's ruthless tactics. Whether it was his early years battling Victor for independence, his relationships with Sharon and Phyllis, or his more recent attempts to forge his own business path, Nick has always been a man torn between loyalty and freedom. His moral compass has been both his strength and his Achilles heel. By extending friendship to Kane, Nick may feel he is doing what he has always tried to do. See the humanity in others, give them a chance, and avoid the kind of cold calculation that defines Victor. But this approach has burned Nick in the past. Whether it was trusting Adam, reconciling with Phyllis despite her betrayals, or giving Sharon endless second chances, Nick's compassion has often left him vulnerable. Kane may simply be the next in a long line of people who use Nick's good nature for their own ends. Kane's checkered past from deception to downfall. To appreciate the danger of this new alliance, fans can't forget the long list of scandals that have defined Kane's presence in Genoa City, from the mess of his supposed identity switch to faking his own death to his tumultuous relationship with Lily and the destruction of their family unit. Kane has left chaos in his wake. His involvement in corporate games has also proven disastrous, as he's been both pawn and player in plots that nearly destroyed Chancellor and Winters' legacies. At his best, Kane is charming, resourceful, and capable of true loyalty. At his worst, he is reckless, dishonest, and desperate for validation. The big question now is which version of Kane is Nick aligning himself with? If Nick is hoping that friendship will bring out Kane's better nature, he may be underestimating just how ingrained Kane's darker impulses are. The Newman reaction. Trouble at the top. No move Nick makes goes unnoticed by the Newmans, and this one is sure to rattle the family. Victor Newman has little patience for outsiders who disrupt his family's carefully constructed world, and Kane is exactly the kind of wild card Victor detests. This is a man who has had to fight tooth and nail to regain his place after every mistake. And Victor may see Nick's association with him as not just a bad choice, but a dangerous liability. Victoria Newman will be equally unforgiving. Already known for her cutthroat instincts, Victoria thrives on being the most competent and strategic of Victor's children. She may view Nick's bond with Kane as proof that her brother isn't equipped to handle the business or family responsibilities he often takes on. This gives her leverage, another excuse to position herself as the true heir to Victor's throne, while subtly undermining Nick's credibility. Even Adam Newman could seize on this moment, always the outsider and often the opportunist. Adam might find a way to exploit Nick's relationship with Kane, either by planting seeds of doubt or using it as ammunition in his ongoing power plays. The Chancellor Winters connection fallout. Ahead, Kane's re-entry into the orbit of Newman power has implications far beyond one family. Lily Winters, now in a strong leadership role, may find herself caught between her past with Kane and her loyalty to Chancellor Winters. She has worked hard to rebuild her own life after Kane's betrayals, but seeing him side by side with Nick could open wounds. Devon, fiercely protective of both his family and the company, is unlikely to stay quiet if Kane tries to worm his way back into the business world via Nick. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Jill Abbott, on the other hand, might see potential. If Kane and Nick form a partnership that benefits her or Chancellor, Jill could play both sides, leveraging the connection for her own gain. The romantic angle. Nick's vulnerability. One of the most intriguing aspects of this storyline is how it could affect Nick's love life. With Sharon focused on her own journey and Phyllis entangled in her own chaos, Nick has been somewhat adrift romantically. Befriending Kane might give him companionship, but it could also stir jealousy or suspicion among the women in his life. Sharon might worry that Nick is letting his guard down again, while Phyllis could see this as yet another poor decision she can manipulate. Moreover, if Kane tries to redeem himself through this friendship, could he also find himself drawn to someone in Nick's orbit, sparking unexpected romantic tension? Kane's charm has caused problems before, and Nick may find himself blindsided if Kane's presence creates friction with someone Nick deeply cares about. The looming disaster, a slow burn or immediate explosion. What makes this storyline so fascinating is the uncertainty. Will Nick and Kane truly build a surprising bond that reshapes Genoa City's alliances, or will this friendship implode under the weight of Kane's history and the Newman family's disdain? The potential for drama is endless. Fans can expect heated confrontations, tense boardroom showdowns, and emotional reckonings as this plays out. Nick may believe he is extending kindness, but in Genoa City, kindness is often mistaken for weakness. And weakness is exploited at every turn. If Kane falters, Nick will be the one paying the price, personally, professionally, and within his family. The Young and the Restless has always thrived on risky choices and unexpected alliances. And Nick's bold move to befriend Kane could go down as one of the most consequential decisions of his life. Whether it leads to disaster or redemption will keep viewers glued to their screens. But one thing is certain, this is no simple friendship. It's a gamble. And in Genoa City, gambles rarely pay off without leaving scars. The ultimate test. Can Victor and Nikki's marriage survive? In the meantime, a well-known Y&R supercouple will face challenges due to the ongoing corporate turmoil. Victor and Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas-Scott relationship has endured many trials over the years, but their marriage is about to face another challenge. Nikki clearly disapproves of Victor's intention to undermine Jack and his family business. She feels the Abbotts don't deserve mistreatment. But Victor has a different view and won't hesitate to sacrifice them. Depending on how the situation unfolds with Kane, Nikki, and Victor's bond could become strained. The feud between Victor and the Abbotts goes back many years. The more trouble Victor causes for Jack and Jabo, the more difficult things may become. For Victor's marriage to Nikki, the ultimate test. Can Victor and Nikki's marriage survive? Y&R in Genoa City. the love story of Victor and Nikki Newman has always been the center of romance, scandal, betrayal, forgiveness, and resilience. For decades, The Young and the Restless has portrayed their union as one of soap opera's most enduring yet most tested relationships. And now, fans are once again asking the question that never seems to fade. Can Victor and Nikki's marriage truly survive the ultimate test? Or will the cracks finally break this powerful couple apart for good? To understand where they stand today, viewers must take a look back at the countless times their marriage has been on the line, the enemies who have tried to tear them down, the family battles that have divided them, and the secrets that continue to haunt their love story. Victor Newman is the titan of industry, the ruthless businessman who built Newman Enterprises into an empire. Nikki Reed Newman is the woman who fought her way out of a painful past to become a strong, elegant matriarch. Together, they've raised a family, survived kidnappings, dealt with betrayals, and weathered storms that would have ended any ordinary couple. Yet, every time it looks like they're standing on solid ground, something comes along to push them back into turmoil. Subscribe our channel for more latest updates. The fans often say that Victor and Nikki are destined to always come back to each other, no matter the chaos. But destiny doesn't guarantee peace, and that's where the danger lies. One of the biggest strains on their marriage has always been Victor's need for control. Time and time again, Nikki has begged him to trust her, to treat her as an equal, rather than a possession. But Victor, being Victor, often puts his business interests, his protective instincts, and his manipulative strategies above their relationship. Nikki in turn has her own struggles, from her battles with alcoholism to moments of weakness where she's found herself drawn to other men when she feels neglected. These human flaws have been written into the DNA of their love story, creating the push and pull dynamic that has captivated viewers for decades. Now, with their marriage being tested yet again, fans are watching closely to see whether this time is different. Could Nikki finally reach her breaking point with Victor's controlling ways? Could Victor's tendency to keep dangerous secrets from his wife destroy the trust she has fought to maintain? And perhaps the most chilling possibility, could an outside force be waiting in the wings to exploit their vulnerabilities and drive them apart once and for all? The Newman family's dramas are always tied to Victor and Nikki's marriage. When their children go to war with each other, whether it's Nick and Adam's rivalry, Victoria's ambitions, or Abby's constant need for validation, it inevitably takes a toll on the couple. Nikki wants harmony, Victor wants dominance, and their differing approaches to parenting and grandparenting often lead to explosive fights. Recently, Nikki has stepped more into a matriarchal role, trying to keep the peace within the Newman clan. But every move she makes seems to collide with Victor's way of doing things. When Victor thinks someone in the family needs tough love, Nikki thinks compassion is the answer. And those opposing viewpoints create rifts that are difficult to mend. Beyond family, there's the threat of outsiders who always seem to circle the Newmans like vultures. Business rivals, dangerous enemies, and past lovers never seem to disappear completely. From Jack Abbott's occasional romantic entanglements with Nikki to Victor's dangerous dealings with enemies like Ashlyn Lowcock, the couple has always had to fight off external forces trying to undermine them. The question now is whether those enemies will find Nikki and Victor weaker than ever, creating the perfect storm to take them down. Of course, the issue of Nikki's sobriety remains a key element. Longtime viewers know her battle with alcohol is a storyline that resurfaces when the pressures of her life become overwhelming. If Nikki slips again, it would not only impact her health and self-confidence, but also push Victor into a role of enabler or controller, which has historically led to devastating arguments. Fans are holding their breath, wondering if her current struggles will be written into the story in a way that once again shakes their marriage at its core. Victor, meanwhile, is no stranger to secrets and lies. His business dealings often cross moral lines, and more often than not, he chooses to keep Nikki in the dark, to protect her. But Nikki, being smarter and stronger than he gives her credit for, usually finds out. The aftermath of these revelations often leaves her questioning why she continues to stand by him. The biggest danger to their marriage is not necessarily a dramatic betrayal, but rather the accumulation of all the little betrayals over time. Those moments when Victor places power over love, and Nikki feels like she's been left out in the cold. But here's the part that fans cannot ignore. Victor and Nikki's love is unlike any other. They have proven again and again that no matter how much damage is done, they find their way back to each other. The grand romantic gestures, the heartfelt apologies, the years of history. They all bind this couple in a way that's almost unbreakable. And yet, viewers are left wondering if one day that resilience will finally give way to exhaustion. Will the writers of The Young and the Restless push Victor and Nikki into another split? Or will this ultimate test prove to be the storyline that reaffirms their status as soap royalty? The possibilities are endless. Imagine Nikki finally standing her ground and refusing to be manipulated any longer. Imagine Victor realizing, perhaps for the first time, that his empire means nothing without Nikki by his side. Or imagine an explosive twist where a health crisis, a shocking betrayal, or even a dangerous new enemy forces them to redefine their marriage in ways they never expected. At the heart of it all, fans are deeply invested because Victor and Nikki are not just characters. They are a legacy. Their love story reflects both the highs and lows of what it means to fight for love, forgiveness, and redemption. If their marriage survives this latest test, it will once again remind viewers that love can overcome even the darkest of storms. If it doesn't, it may mark the end of an era, leaving fans heartbroken and nostalgic for the couple who defined The Young and the Restless for over 4 decades. One thing is certain, whether together or apart, Victor and Nikki's story will always remain one of the most compelling in soap opera history. And as Genoa City watches their latest trials unfold, fans are left hanging on every scene, asking themselves the ultimate question: can Victor and Nikki's marriage survive this time? Or is this the end of their unforgettable love story? The ultimate test. Can Victor and Nikki's marriage survive? Y&R. The love story of Victor and Nikki Newman is not just a tale of romance, but a saga that has spanned decades, shaping The Young and the Restless and leaving an unforgettable mark on daytime television. From their early days of attraction to the countless breakups and makeups that followed, their journey has been nothing short of epic. Each chapter of their story has added layers of complexity, painting them as both flawed individuals and soulmates, who somehow find their way back together no matter the odds. But as the latest trials unfold, fans are left to wonder if the ultimate test might finally push this legendary couple to the point of no return. To understand the gravity of their current struggles, one must revisit the earliest days of Victor and Nikki's relationship. Nikki Reed was a young stripper at the Bayou when Victor first entered her life, sweeping her into a world of power and privilege she never could have imagined. Their love was as intoxicating as it was volatile. Victor's charisma and dominance clashed with Nikki's vulnerability and longing for stability, yet their chemistry was undeniable. For many fans, that first spark was the foundation of a romance that would become the beating heart of Genoa City. But from the very beginning, there were obstacles. Victor's past lovers, his relentless ambition, and Nikki's insecurities set the stage for a tumultuous path. Their early marriages ended in divorce, but somehow fate always drew them back together. This push-and-pull dynamic became the hallmark of their relationship, leaving fans both frustrated and captivated as they rooted for the couple to find lasting happiness. One of the greatest challenges they faced was Nikki's battle with alcoholism. Her struggle was not just a storyline, but a raw depiction of a woman fighting demons while trying to maintain her dignity in a world that constantly tested her resolve. Victor's response to Nikki's addiction often walked the line between support and control. He wanted to save her, to protect her, but in doing so, he sometimes treated her as fragile or incapable. This imbalance created deep rifts, but it also gave the couple some of their most emotional and heart-wrenching moments. Meanwhile, Victor's own flaws constantly threatened their union. His ruthless business tactics, his manipulative ways, and his inability to let go of control often pushed Nikki away. Time and time again, she found herself questioning whether she could live under the shadow of his dominance. And yet, every time she tried to break free, she discovered that her heart was still tied to Victor's. The couple's many weddings and vows have become iconic in soap opera history. Subscribe our channel for more latest updates. Each ceremony symbolized a fresh start, a chance to erase the pain of the past and begin again. From grand lavish affairs to intimate gatherings, each I-do was a promise that they would finally conquer the challenges that plagued them. But inevitably, betrayal, jealousy, or tragedy would creep in, shattering their fragile peace. Still, those weddings stand as a testament to their undying love, a love that refuses to die, no matter how many times it's been tested. Their relationship has also been defined by the presence of other people. Jack Abbott, Victor's greatest rival, has often found himself entangled with Nikki, creating one of the most enduring love triangles in soap history. Jack offered Nikki something Victor couldn't: gentleness, empathy, and freedom from control. But in the end, Jack was never Victor, and Nikki's heart always pulled her back to her one true love. Still, Jack remains a lingering shadow, A reminder that Nikki could choose a different path if Victor pushes her too far. Nikki's relationships with other men like Paul Williams and Deacon Sharp further complicated matters, while Victor's dances with women like Ashley Abbott, Diane Jenkins, and Sharon Newman added their own layers of betrayal. These affairs and flirtations often acted as catalysts for the couple's most explosive fights, and yet, despite the anger and heartbreak, they always seemed to circle back to each other, as though destiny itself refused to let them stay apart. Family has also played a central role in testing their marriage. Raising children in the Newman dynasty has been no small feat, especially when those children inherited Victor's ambition and Nikki's stubbornness. Nick and Victoria have often taken sides in their parents' battles, while Adam's tumultuous relationship with Victor has created endless strife for the family. Nikki, always the peacemaker, has struggled to maintain unity, while Victor, the patriarch, has demanded loyalty above all else. These differing approaches have fueled countless arguments, forcing Nikki and Victor to not only navigate their own marriage, but also the storms created by their children. The present-day struggles feel heavier than ever because both characters are older, wiser, and more aware of the scars they carry. Nikki is no longer the young, naive woman who once looked to Victor for salvation. She is a strong, independent matriarch who demands respect and honesty. Victor, though still powerful, is beginning to show signs of vulnerability both physically and emotionally. His empire, while vast, is not unshakable, and his grip on his family is constantly challenged. This dynamic shift raises the question, can two people who have spent their lives fighting each other as much as loving each other finally find balance? The threats to their marriage are everywhere. Nikki's sobriety remains a fragile lifeline that could snap under the weight of family drama. Victor's secretive nature could once again push her to the brink of despair. External enemies could exploit their weaknesses, knowing that if they can divide Victor and Nikki, they can weaken the entire Newman family. The danger is not just in the obvious threats, but in the subtle ones. The lies not told, the truths avoided, the moments of emotional distance that slowly erode the bond they've built. Still, there is hope. Fans know that Victor and Nikki's love is unlike any other. They are not perfect, but they are soulmates. They have survived affairs, betrayals, health crises, and even death itself. Each reunion feels like a triumph, a reminder that true love can endure even the darkest of storms. The ultimate test they now face could either destroy them or finally solidify their place as the strongest couple in soap opera history. Will Nikki finally demand a marriage built on equality, forcing Victor to confront his controlling nature? Will Victor recognize that Nikki is not someone to protect, but someone to stand beside? Will a new crisis, be it health, business, or family, bring them closer than ever before? Or will one final betrayal push them past the point of no return, ending an era that fans have cherished for decades? Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear. Victor and Nikki's love story is the backbone of The Young and the Restless. It is the thread that ties generations of viewers together, reminding them of the power of love, the pain of betrayal, and the hope of redemption. Whether they survive this ultimate test or not, their story will remain timeless, forever etched into the fabric of daytime television.